WHO in a 2018 report emphasized that cultural stigma surrounding mental health is one of the chief obstacles to people admitting that they are struggling and need help. And this stigmatization is particularly pronounced in men. Well, it should actually come as not much of a surprise. Churi pehen lo jaake when men do not behave in a certain manner, or even the latest Will Smith slapping Chris Rock episode, there is no escaping the violence of expectations of how manly you should be. Described in various media as silent epidemic and a sleeper issue that has crept into the minds of millions with chilling statistics, mental illness among men is a public health concern that begs attention. इंडिया में ही 2018 की स्टडीज के हिसाब से लगभग 250 इंडियन मेन डाइड बाय सुसाइड दैट ईयर, अ नंबर दैट इज मोर देन डबल द नंबर ऑफ वुमेन. आदमियों को बचपन से सिखाया जाता है टू कंट्रोल इमोशंस, स्पेशली दोज दैट इंडिकेट वल्नरेबिलिटी लाइक क्राइंग, बीइंग सेंसिटिव और आस्किंग फॉर हेल्प. Even when someone tries to be any of these, there is peer pressure built up almost relentlessly to not do so. As a result, mental health concerns which do involve asking for help, whether it may be from friends or family or even mental health professionals, becomes difficult for men. While there isn't a different sort of male depression, some symptoms are more common in men than women. These include irritability, sudden anger, increased loss of control, risk-taking and aggression. Young men are more likely than women to abuse drugs, including marijuana, hallucinogens, and prescription painkillers. Plus, men are almost 2 times more likely to binge drink than women and have consistently higher rates of alcohol-related deaths and hospitalizations. Because problematic drinking and other male substance abuse is seen as socially acceptable for young men and even considered masculine, it's less frequently recognized as a symptom of a male mental health condition. Approximately 60% of men experience at least one trauma in their lives, typically related to accidents, physical assault, combat, or witnessing death or injury. But man it up being the mantra, men often struggle with physical and mental pain without figuring out any healthy outlets. As with other common mental health disorders, bipolar disorder is underdiagnosed in young men. Many of the symptoms of bipolar in men can be written off as normal young man behavior. For example, overconfidence and reckless behavior are signs of the manic phase of bipolar, while irritability and social withdrawal are symptoms of the depressive phase. Research बताती है कि men tend to experience less frequent cycling between the phases, making bipolar disorder in males harder to recognize. If you're worried that someone you care about may be struggling, or you think that you yourself need help, you can look for these signs that indicate a need for outside assistance. Change in mood, difference in work performance, weight changes, sadness, hopelessness, or anhedonia, which is a loss of pleasure and pulling away from things that used to provide enjoyment earlier. Physical symptoms such as headaches and stomach issues, aggression and violence, high-risk activities. I just want to say that we too contribute to this. Do we really allow men to feel safe when they express their vulnerability? Are we silently judging them for not protecting or not well be a Will Smith and punch someone? By the way, equating calling out someone with punching is a terrible way of understanding responsibility or accountability. School हो या sports, या even daily lives to bedrooms, the pressure to perform, provide, and be invincible can be an extremely lonely experience, especially क्योंकि men are not encouraged to share their feelings even with other men. क्योंकि अगर कोई बात भी कर लेता है तो उसे dismiss कर दिया जाता है. So maybe we need to change first, encourage the men in our lives to acknowledge and address their concerns, because it affects not just those people, but those around him too. So maybe we need to change first, encourage the men in our lives to acknowledge and address their concerns, because it affects not just them, but also those around them. Let's make you should take therapy not a way of insulting someone, but an expression of care and concern. माइंड ओवर मैटर का अगर ये एपिसोड आपको अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज़ इस वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर करें और हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें. हमें हमारे सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स पर फॉलो करें.